Alright, greetings everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome to another video here. Today, as if you just saw from there, I am going to be exploring parts of the Schuylkill River Trail. More specifically, the Thun Trail, which is about a 12-mile hiking and biking trail here that goes from Gibraltar just about up to West Reading, Pennsylvania. It follows what was known as, I should say, as the old Pensy line or Pennsylvania Railroad line. It was an abandoned a railway back in the day that was abandoned, and they pretty much repurposed most of it as a hiking and biking trail. There are other parts of it down in Montgomery County and go up north. Some of them follow the rail line and some of the trail doesn't. So the area that we're in here is actually outside of Gibraltar. I guess some locals call this area Seifert Hill because of the big hill that's over there, or what's behind me here, not here but just over the hill there, is Titus, which is a Titus generating station. It's an old abandoned coal and gas-fired power plant, which we will get to see in a little bit here. But I'm also going to be testing out some new equipment today that I got, see how it works, because there's going to be another YouTube meetup coming up in 2 weeks on a Sunday. I believe it's October the 4th, and it's going to be up at Ricketts Glen, and Jay from JP Videos is hosting that one again. If you saw some of my other videos recently, I was out in, apologies for the shadow there, just trying to get a better angle here. I was out at the U.S. Army Heritage Museum out in Carlisle a couple weeks ago and filmed out there with a great group of people and fellow YouTubers. So we're going to do another meetup up there at Ricketts Glen State Park. 22 waterfalls up there, and if it's anything like today, it is going to be a good day up there. It's nice and cool out here today. It's probably in the high 50s, low 60s. Gorgeous day for September. Nice and cool this morning. I was trying to figure out when I got up this morning, I wanted to take advantage of the cool weather today, go out here hiking, but some of the places I wanted to go to was either busy or hunting season also starts today. Today is the first day of archery season in Pennsylvania, so if you're out on state game lands and state forests right now that allow hunting, you're going to have to put up with that from now until the end of January. So really didn't feel like going out there and disturbing anybody that's in the woods that may be hunting. But we're going to get moving here and started, check things out, and I'll show you what equipment I'm going to be using today. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be using, and this came recommended from a friend of mine. He has a YouTube channel called Hillbilly Assassin Outdoors. It's actually a trigger stick that's used for hunting, for steadying your rifle on, but there's an attachment that you can take the V part off that would hold the gun, and this little piece here, which you can mount onto your camera, and then mount that back on there, and it use it as a tripod or monopole, whatever they call them and stuff. This is the tripod I normally use when I'm holding the camera and filming. Just small, inexpensive one. I love it, but I figured for today we'll give this a try. Since I'm going to be hiking around waterfalls in a couple weeks, I may need a hiking stick due to the arthritis as you get older. So we're going to give this a try here. So let me get my stuff packed up here, get my bag ready and my water, and we'll get headed down the trail here. Alright, so we're not actually going to use that trigger stick there on this because the adapter for it doesn't fit right with the camera fit right on the camera. So I'm going to have to get a washer or a little bit of spacer and put in there because the camera moves around too much, but it's no big deal. I can work on that at home at some point, but we're going to get started here and head on down this trail. So this is the actual old railroad bed of the Pensy line, or the Pennsylvania Railroad Schuylkill division, as they called it, that ran from Philadelphia to the coal regions up in Pottsville is where it actually ended up there, I believe. So you can go online and see the history of it and when it was abandoned and was taken over by the Reading Company or the Reading Railroad or whatever name it went by at the time, when all these railroad companies were being bought, merged, or going bankrupt or whatever. But we're going to head down the trail here, see if we find anything interesting. Maybe we'll get lucky and catch a train because we are close to the Turkey Pass rail line here, which is Norfolk Southern's railroad, but it's called the Turkey Pass. It basically goes from Titus down to Birdsboro, and it's just a bypass of the main line, and it goes down to the Trap Rock quarries where Norfolk Southern gets most of their ballast from for the railroad. So I doubt we'll catch a train on that today, but we might get lucky and catch a train on the main line coming out of Reading there, going down towards Pottstown and Philadelphia. So we'll see what we find along the way. And so walking down the trail here, here's the first sign of the old abandoned Pensy line. Is this train bridge right here, which goes over the Turkey Pass. And it almost looks like there were two lines here at one time that ran, which I thought there was only one line, but apparently there were two lines here from the looks of it. And this is nice. An old brick walkway here. I'm not sure if this is original or not. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is original here or if they put this in later when they put this trail in here. But we'll walk over here, climb up top, see if we can get a view of the railroad. Alright, so this trail is very active today, so you just have to watch. You got walkers and joggers and bikers and people like me out here utilizing the trail today. So that rail that you saw was the Turkey Path, Norfolk Southern's line, and I do hear a train in the distance, but unfortunately it's on the other line and I am not going to be fast enough to get out to the other spot to try and catch it. And the road, if you're curious what's above me, the noise, that is Interstate 176. So this pass is underneath Interstate 176. So the trail coming up here is going to veer off to the right, and it's not going to follow the actual railroad bed, because the railroad bed would have went straight, but that is mounds of ash, man-made mountain from the generating plant that's over there. So this trail actually is going to veer down here, whereas the old railroad bed would have went over that way. Alright, so walking down the trail here, I think we're still on the old railroad bed yet, just by the way the terrain of the land looks. somewhere around here. I know it does get funky because the trail doesn't follow the actual bed due to that hill, but it's somewhere around here. But this is my first time coming here, and I'm relying on some maps that were done on Google, and sometimes they aren't exactly accurate with information. And the only drawback to it here so far walking along this trail is obviously you can hear the noise from the interstate. But other than that, it's not a bad trail. It's a fairly level one, not much of a steep grade to it or anything. All right, so this part that I'm on right now, this is definitely not the railroad bed because it is just too windy coming through there, and no railroad that I know of makes sharp turns like that one right after the other. So somewhere back there is where the old railroad bed actually ends, and then this here is the trail that they put in to bypass the mountain of ash over there. So this does continue down here more. There's another biker coming up, but just to show you, right there is 422, so you're right next to the highway. That's the only drawback to this trail, it's a little noisy. And also they have this fenced off because here's this man-made mountain that I'm telling you about. I want to say the ash. I guess I'm using it, that's the right term, but this is where they buried the it's sort of like a landfill. This is not Fritz's Island landfill, which is where the city of Reading has their landfill. This is the landfill that was used for the Titus generating station, where they took the ash from the coal once it was used up for the process, and they buried it in a landfill over here. So that's what this man-made mountain is. And like I say with all my videos, when you come here, be aware of your surroundings and where you're at. You know, like I said, this is an active trail. If you don't feel comfortable coming out here by yourself, then don't. I always have some form of protection with me when I'm out here because you never know what you might run into. And always pay attention to your signs, because this is no trespassing on over here. This is no trespassing over here. So the only thing you're allowed to be on right now that's public domain is this trail. Now, one of the interesting things I want to check out, we should be coming up on here shortly, is one of the old train bridges that went over the Schuylkill River. They should be coming up right about out here. So we are actually back on the old Pensy line again. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, so it's sort of offset a little bit, the trail from the bridge. So the railroad would have ran right around here, because you can see where the rocks, where the edge of the railroad bed would have been right there, and it would have went straight through there. But again, it was destroyed when they put the that landfill in for the ash. And here's one of the information boards that they have along the trail here, talking about railroad bridges. So at any point, if you want to stop the video and read more about this, you can. Alright, so just looking at this bridge, the bridge almost looks like it could have been wide enough to have two rails going across it. But the way it slopes right here, I don't know if there was at one time, or if they built this side up to put the trail on. But it does look like it could have been wide enough to support 2 rail lines, so I'm not sure. If you know any information, you know, leave it in the comments. So, but you can see down there where it, from this angle, where it should have, where it should have continued straight on there at those trees. We'll just give you some looks here from this side. I always get to see the bridge from over there, which is 422, and this is the Schuylkill River. And yes, that is a long drop down there. They do have fence up here, keep people from doing anything stupid. And over there is another area we're going to be exploring in the fall once the leaves start changing and coming down. If you saw one of my other videos, I was actually over there where that big tower is in the spring and did part of Never Sink Mountain. That whole mountain's the Never Sink Mountain Preserve, and I was over there at the Witch's Hat and did the video on that, and Y102's big transmitter tower that's over there. So there's more trails running all along this mountain here. But again, I want to wait until the fall till the leaves are off, because there are some lookouts over there that you can see over here, and there's supposed to be some breathtaking views. So that'll be coming up in the fall. And then on the other side of this bridge is what I was talking about. The abandoned Titus generating station. This was a coal-fired power plant, and I'll put a link to the information on it in the bottom. It was basically a coal-fired plant. I'm not sure the size of the boilers in there that generated the steam to make electricity, but it was also gas-fired too. The 3 stacks that you see there are the original stacks, but with EPA laws and the Clean Air Act and all that other stuff, they had to cap them, which you can see on the top there. And then they built this taller stack behind it that was more environmentally friendly, to filter out all the pollutants and stuff. And then what looks like a mini cooling tower over there actually was a cooling tower, but they are dismantled most of it years ago. If I can zoom in on that and show you. And I got some bikers coming here I gotta let pass. Yeah, I got some bikers over here on the other side of me, but that's all right. I'll keep talking, telling you about that cooling tower out there again. That cooling tower actually has fans in it that would blow probably about, I think there were like 8 fans in it that they would run it so it would push the steam up higher on windy days, because when they first started using it, the steam, depending on which way the wind was blowing, would drift across 422 and make driving a little hazardous. So that's why they installed all those fans that are in there, and they're still there yet. If you do a Google Maps, a satellite view of it, you can see all the fans that are inside that tower. And then they had I believe they had a little dam down there too, where they pulled water from the Schuylkill River. I think they also got water from the Reading Water Authority, but they pulled it from 2 different locations to heat the water up, generate the steam, to turn the turbines and stuff to generate the electricity. But you can tell the river is low at spots, because we haven't had rain for quite a while here, any significant amount of rain. So the river is a little low, but I don't know if you can fish down there or not. Like I said, I've seen no trespassing signs all along walking out through here, so I don't know if you can access it at all from anywhere and fish from the banks. I know you can kayak and canoe down through there if you want to, but as far as anything else, I'm not quite sure. All right, came to our second bridge here to check out, and I'm going to say that this was only one rail line that ran through here, because this bridge is obviously only wide enough for one rail. So this was another bridge that went over back then. If the Pensy line would have been here, it would have went over the Reading Company Railroad, which would have been this line down here, which is now owned by Norfolk Southern. And if you look at the side here, you can see the siding that would have went into the, if I can give you a better look here, into that gate, and out through there is where they would have dumped the coal out of the railroad cars, and it would have got fed up into the plant. And then what you see up in the back there, that other man-made mountain that's up there, that's Fritz's Island. That's what they call Fritz's Island, and that is the landfill for the city of Reading. So the Titus station stopped using coal, I forget when it was, and they actually tore the lines out. You can see the barrier that's there. But the plant has been abandoned since 2014, I believe, was when it was abandoned, and it's just sitting there. I don't know if they're gonna let it deteriorate or eventually implode it, tear it down, do something with it. I'm not quite sure, but it was owned by MedEd, which is now First Energy. And then on the other side of the bridge, you can see the yard. If you can see through there. Out there is where they kept moved the coal cars that were stored there. Empty ones and full ones is where they would jockey them around onto this siding here that went into the plant. Kind of hoping to catch a train go through here, but doesn't look like I'm going to have any luck there. It'd be nice to catch one coming around this curve on the back side here, but don't think I'm going to have any luck today. So far, really didn't get to see any wildlife along here, and just looking around for like old remains of the railroad, other than the actual railroad bed itself, there's no signs of that there was a railroad here at one time. Thought maybe I could find some remains other than the obvious, the bed and the bridges. But we'll see. We got another bridge coming up in a little bit here, going across the Schuylkill River again. So we'll check that bridge out. All right, so I guess this is Poplar Neck Road. I don't know if you could come, if this road's still open to the public yet or not, because there is some oil tanks here, and I'm not quite sure who owns them. And Poplar Neck Road actually ran across and went over there on 422, but obviously when they put the highway in, that pretty much killed the road. And then this is an access road, I believe, that gets to some private properties or Norfolk Southern's property back there, whatever. But again, just stay on the trail because it is posted on either side. And I did find some interesting mushrooms. I'm not quite sure what kind they are. I know if Cliff, the Wandering Woodsman, was here with me, he'd be able to tell me right off the bat as to what kind of mushrooms these are. So I'll have to take a picture and see if I can figure out what they are. All right, so we're slowly coming up on bridge number 2 here, going across the Schuylkill River. And I tried looking on that first bridge we crossed over the river, see if there was a date on it on top there, but I couldn't find anything. So if there is, it might be down on the bottom of it where you don't have access to. I was just curious to see as to when that bridge or these bridges might have been built. All right, so I made it to the second bridge going across the Schuylkill River. And we'll give you a shot of the river going downstream. That bridge there is the active Norfolk Southern line. Right after that bridge is where it splits off. It either goes continues around the bend to where I showed you, or that bridge we were on there by the generating station. Then it splits off and turns into the Turkey Path, which goes down to through that area I showed you in the beginning of the video. So far, I'd say total distance wise on my hike so far from where I parked and where I'm at now is probably about 2 miles. So it roughly may put 4 miles on here round trip hiking. So far it's a nice trail. Like I said, it's mainly flat. There's hardly any steep grades to it at all. Some of it's macadam, some of it is gravel, but easy hiking if you're looking for a place, and it's rather nice. Like I said numerous times, the only drawback to it is the noise from 422. And here's the 422 side again. This part of the river here doesn't look that terribly deep. Looks like you could walk across it there. Might only be just guessing a foot deep, if that, at spots. So it's definitely low here. And then out through there is that rock that you always see if you drive. Anybody that drives along this area here knows about the painted rock out in the middle of the river there. And when the river's high, that rock is underwater. I've seen that already. But it is just a gorgeous day to be out here hiking. You look up at the top there of the hill, you can see there's some of the leaves are starting to change, even right along here. They're starting to change a little bit. Some of the goldenrod that I saw, it's turning like a dull yellow, but other parts of the state it is a bright yellow. And when it's bright yellow that I've seen from up north, that means fall is coming very quickly and the leaves will be changing rather quickly. Alright, so coming out here, this actually meets up with another trail called the Angelica Creek Trail, which travels down that way. And then also out through here is another parking area. That's called the Brentwood Parking Trailhead, which is just out around that corner. I'm not going to walk out there because I'm going to make my way back. So total hike out to where I'm at here at Brentwood Industries is probably about 2 miles. So not a bad hike. And there's just the information on the Angelica Creek Trail. Just looking at this map, I may have to come back here and do a separate video just on the Angelica Creek Trail, because there's where we're at, and it goes all the way down to the Ken Grill Recreation Center, which is just about down into Showington there, just outside of Kenhurst. It goes out past Alvernia University, pretty much follows the Angelica Creek. So that'll probably be another video at some time. And there's the disclaimer for hunting season. Now there is state game lands here somewhere, but I forget exactly where, if they're over to the right there. But that hunting statement at the bottom there isn't necessarily true anymore, because this year they're allowing hunting on 3 Sundays in the fall. So that isn't necessarily true anymore. All right, I'm back here at the overpass for Norfolk Southern. Kind of hoping I could catch a train coming around this bend here. Sort of bummed out about that, but all is not lost. Little deer. Looks like a doe, as far as I can tell from here. Standing down there next to the railroad tracks. All right, I'm just about back at my destination again, and I came back into this area where I thought this might have been a railroad bed in here at one point. This clearly is not. There is no way a railroad could have made a tight bend going to the left there and then come down here as sharp as it did along here. There's just the terrain of the land, nothing is like a signature there that it could have been a railroad bed. So this is just whatever they did to make the trail here, but this was not part of the old Pensy line. I'll go with my first guess when we were down underneath 176, where it continued straight and the trail turned to the right. The old railroad continued on straight. And I'm coming back here reevaluating this area here. This might not even be the original railroad bed either. They could have pretty much destroyed the railroad bed when they built the overpass or the bridge here for 176, because there's no way that a railroad could have made that sharp of a bend coming off that bridge there. Making a sharp bend here. My guess would be it continued through here and got destroyed and went straight out on the other side through that landfill, more of a direct path. But they destroyed it when they built the interstate. So we're just about back at the parking area, and we'll actually see how far of a walk it was from this trailhead, just about up to the Brentwood Industries trailhead. And this trail continues on past the parking area, which I'm back at right now, but continues straight ahead. Goes over 724 and down through the village of Seifert down into Gibraltar. Like I said, I think I mentioned it before, that part of this trail does follow the old Pensy Railroad, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it follows along the river, and sometimes trails it's all trail, but the trail can be broken up places too, so it's not one complete trail from here all the way down to Philadelphia. There's still sections that have to be completed yet. But the thing that's nice, if you're biking and you need air, they do have these little things here that you can get air along the way. At least they have one here. I'm not sure about this, and it looks like they even have some tools down there for you to work on your bike if need be. Looks like mainly Allen wrenches, but it's pretty neat that they have that along here. So this was a good day to be out here. It's nice and cool. It's probably a little after 3 o'clock now in the afternoon, which I got to check my app that I have and see how far it is from Brentwood down to where I'm at here at this parking area here. And I forget what street this is. There's a name for it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. All right, so looking at my map that I have, and I'm using the Trail Forks app. So if you want an app and you're out hiking or biking, you want a pretty good app to use to navigate around. It's called Trail Forks. I'll put a link to that in the bottom there in the description. It's a free app for smartphones. It is pretty useful. So from the Angstadt Lane trailhead here where I'm at over to the Brentwood parking area, which was probably 1/8 of a mile from where I turned around, it's just about a little over 1.75 miles. Actually, it was 1.84 miles, so getting close to about 2 miles hike from here and there, from here to there. So I thought it was a great trail if you're looking to go out and do some hiking or just bike riding. So far that is a great section to walk and explore. I may come back and do another video from here all the way down to that way, down through Seifert and down to Gibraltar. May do that in the fall here or something. And like I said before, I may come back up here and film the Angelica Creek Trail and explore that and see what that's all about. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too boring. Didn't know what I was going to find here today. Sometimes you find a lot, sometimes you don't. So as always, if you liked the video, feel free to hit that the like button down there, give it the thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button if you're new, and the bell to be notified when I upload new videos to YouTube. And also I just want to thank everybody that did comment already, like the videos, and commented on my photos that I have on Facebook and Instagram, and new people that discovered me. Thank you everyone. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I'm glad people are enjoying this, because that's why I go out here and do it. Not only for me just to get out and explore, but for other people that may not be able to get out there and explore. So time to head back home, and I think we're going to stop somewhere and get something to eat, because this guy needs some tacos. And there's going to be one person that's going to watch this video that's going to understand that and get that, what I just said. So until next time, have a ball and do it all, and we'll see you soon.